fellow Archimiths. I'm James Smith with Knights of the Smith Dinner Table, coming at you with episode 13, yes, the actual episode 13, of the Tips and Tricks video series. Now today I'm going to kind of veer off of my normal course. Today I'm going to, instead of covering the toolkit like I normally do, I'm going to cover some of the tools that I use as a Dungeon Master to help my game run more smoothly. There are several tools that I use, a character creation app, as well as a combat manager app, and then last but not least, my probably most used stuff is the Google Sheet. Now, I know lots of folks use OneNote, RealmWorks, things like that. I tend to lean towards more of the free stuff just because some of those guys out there are amazing. It doesn't cost me any extra money. I know things like Hero Labs and Fantasy Grounds and some of the other programs out there, they got a pretty prohibitive cost if you have as many books as I do. I have the entire, with the exception of the latest adventure path, I have the entire Pathfinder First Edition collection. Now, if I tried to translate that into something like Hero Lab, I'd spend hundreds, probably close to $1,000. So that's why I kind of stick with these free tools, so I don't have to buy the same books twice. Now, without further ado, I'm going to step right in. The first tool that I'm going to talk about is PC Gen. This is a player character generator. It works for multiple games. Dungeons & Dragons 5e, 3.5, 3.0, 4e, all of those, plus Pathfinder, Pathfinder Society, and a whole host of other D20 based games. It's a real simple program to use. It's Java based, so it does tend to run a little slow on some of the older machines, and even sometimes on my machine it'll take a little bit to load everything. That being said, it is a great tool, and it's made even better by the fact that it's a bunch of volunteers who are giving up their time to build this tool for us. So if you've got any experience with Java coding, these guys could definitely use your help. Their website is pcgen.org, and they're always looking for more people to help with loot lists, coding books in, coding the mechanics, things like that. And they need it for both Pathfinder and D&D 5e primarily. So if you've got the experience, feel free to head over and help them out if you've got the time. Now, this isn't going to be a tutorial on how to use the program. There's so many nuances to it that the best way to learn it is to hop in and learn, or to check out their video over at PC. I'm pretty sure they've got a link to a YouTube channel. But as you can see, here's the primary start screen. You assign your attributes, and for Pathfinder at least, you've got all the different ways that you can assign them. Then you choose your race, templates, class, and as you can see, Pathfinder has a whole bunch of classes. Your skills would come next, and it won't let you overspend, which is nice. All of your feats and abilities, as well as traits, racial abilities, traits, type, background. Here's one of the really nice things that I'm not sure if Hero Lab has it or not, but you can apply GM bonuses right on your sheet, or penalties as a so, and then it's also got the mythic. You do your domains for your clerics and spells for all spellcasters. Inventory is where it gets a little heavy. You got to know what you want, and the best way to get your equipment is to type in the search bar, find what you're looking for. However, it's got two little boxes, and if you notice, this box is on almost everything. Qualified box, which will only allow you to select stuff that you're qualified for. Back to the inventory, it also has the affordable. Plus, when you click on this tab, you can actually assign items to where they. I chose my wife's character, her monk, for the Reign of Winter campaign that I'm. But as you can see, you can equip stuff, put it in containers. You can add a description to your character, lots of options there. Temporary bonuses. This is one that's really nice, and I know that Hero Forge does this. But you can add different things, like the one that we see most often in our game is adding or bless. Bless is another. Whoops. Bless is another big one that we have a lot of. Bless right here. Add it to your character. If your character has any followers or mounts or familiars, you can create them here as a separate character, and it'll be tied into your main character. However, this is where it shines. Excuse me. Here, you've got a character sheet that's sort of interactive, but it does all of the math for you. And so far, what I've noticed is it does all of the math correctly. So when you've got a temporary bonus like Bless, go ahead and apply it. You come over here, bless is checked, and it uncheck blessed, and it changes them back. So that was a +6, it's down to a plus. Great tool to have, really nice character sheet. You can also print these off. You have the option up here of printing. You could export it to other file formats. Now, this is important for programs like the next one I'm going to talk about, Combat Manager, because then I can export the character with their initiative bonus and everything and their AC. I don't have to ask the players as many questions. Now, I'll get into discussing Combat Manager here in a bit, but it's really nice to be able to export this, and I believe they can export it for other programs too. Not 100% sure, but I'm sure that Andrew or Paul from PC Gen will correct me if I'm wrong if they watch this video. Other than that, PC Gen, like I said, once again, it is free, so it doesn't cost you anything extra. And once more, if you have any experience in coding in Java, or even if you just want to edit .lst files, so that way they have more loot lists, always looking for help. So give them the help, that is awesome. Now, on to the next item. Next item up is Combat Manager. Now, this one is 100% geared towards Pathfinder First Edition. The guy who creates it, Kyle, life of me, I cannot remember. Kyle, brain is completely shut down. I apologize, I can't find it. But he has done a great job of creating an amazing. I cannot say enough good things about this program. Like any program, though, it does have a few bugs here and there, and there's a few things missing, but this is a one-man show, and he has made an amazing effort of getting a wonderful product out there for those of us who play Pathfinder. Now, to go back a bit, PC Gen also has a Combat Manager, which you can use in Pathfinder. I've played with it a little bit. I'm not real proficient with it. Frankly, I really like the Combat Manager just because it's so easy to use. So here, let me bring up a encounter. We'll bring up a couple of zombies. This is from... Now, as you can see over here, I've got the monster selected. It's got all the information I need here. If I select a character, it's got all their information here as well. It's all based on what you select. Now, to make your life easier when you're running combat, you can on control, click multiple, and you can tie them together in an initiative group. That way, when you're running the combat, that way you don't have all the monsters spread out across. I like to do all of my monsters at once, just for me, and I can keep the game faster. That's just me. If you don't like to do that, you can have it roll separately, which... And then, this is the one role now, since we've been using Combat Manager, that other excuse me, other than doing perception checks for traps for my characters, for my player characters, I roll the initiative here. And as you can see, it rolls with the correct bonuses. And just to give you an idea, Tansden has an initiative of 2. His total roll was 18. 20. However, the other nice thing that you can do, either click on this little thing here, or you can right click. You can edit things in real time, so you can change stats on monsters, things like that. You can idle a character. So if I have a player character who's not here, I can idle their character and they won't have a tracker. Adding conditions, really nice. This automatically applies any penalties or bonuses to your monsters. Damage and heal, you can do this as well. However, the quicker way I found is just to click here, type in the number. Let's say they did 6. I hit enter, it subtracts it. Or you actually have to hit the plus sign to add it. Other things, all of the rolls, their attacks, their saves, their skills, combat maneuvers, as well as any ability checks. All of that is built right in here, as well as a ready action, delay action, and hold action feature. Hands down, this is probably one of the best combat programs I've used. And for you D&D players, I really wish there was one as good as this for you guys. I've looked around, I've found a few things, but most of them aren't computer-based. Most of them are based off of your phone or tablet apps, things like that, like Club. However, none of them seem to be nearly as intrinsic and as thorough as what Kyle has managed to do with Combat Manager here. Huge shout out to Kyle, man. You have made an amazing program and one of my favorite tools to use for my Pathfinder games. The last thing that I use quite a bit is Google Sheets. Now, the sheets, I do have these up on my Google Drive, and I am more than happy to share them with people. The first one, this is an experience tracker that I wrote with a little bit of help. A couple of my friends, Ian Gent, Nick Webben, both helped me write these. The first thing here is, of course, the experience. So I expanded this up here so you can see the formula that we wrote. First one here is the total experience. This is the experience divided by the number of party members. Set the default by 4, so that way most party groups are base of 4. I seem to be one of the few that have larger groups, so I changed this to number for division. It only just works out really well. This tells me how much total each player character has. Here is how much to get to the next level. That's pretty self-explanatory. Right now I have the master copy set to the medium experience tracking chart for Pathfinder. Changing it to another one would not be very hard at all. All you do is you go in and you change all these green numbers to the correct. This doesn't do any interaction at all. It just tells you how much experience is required for next. Here's where it got a little more complicated. It took me a little out with the help of my friend Ian. However, it automatically changes the party level based on the total. And last but not least is the raw experience. This is just a straight addition. Type in and say they just got 200 plus 200, hit enter, it automatically does the division, and it changes the raw experience total here. Just keep adding and adding and adding, or after this bar gets too long, you look at the number you got here, you erase it, you back off through this, make sure you leave the put the new number in there. In this tool, I've also got a place to list all of my player characters, as well as any conditions like poisons, diseases, things like that. That's going to be a lot of time. Most of the other stuff I don't keep track of on something like this because the other one that I have is my loot tracker. Now, this is one that my wife and I worked on, and my wife is pretty amazing when it comes to working with Google Sheets, any type of spreadsheet. She's got this grasp of. So what we have here is, like up here, we've got the different coin types as well as the number of coins. It'll give the value, things like that. And let me actually open up what I'm using for my actual play groups. This one is for my Saturday night with my kids present. Excuse me. The Wrath of the Righteous campaign. As you can see, they entered in the amount. It figures out the value. Like platinum is worth 10 gold. So it automatically calculates the number of platinum and gold value. Now, for the coins and gems, I automatically count them as sold because they are actually direct value, and you can go in and you can add or subtract whatever the for items. Like here, we've got a masterwork backpack. Total amount is 1. The value of it is not 50. I don't know why. However, the sell value is going to be 50% in most cases, unless you're and uses a different percentage of sell values, or say for instance you find a collector or something like that, you can change the value up here on what it's multiplied, and then to add the value of it to the total that you see right there, right here, the total value in gold of all the equipment there, and it's going to add. Oh, apparently I didn't add in all this. On this one, I think it does. Yes. So on this one, if I added something here, let's say we'll put in a over, give it a total of 1, and it does that. And then when I click that, half a gold piece, or 5 silver, if you will. So these are the tools I use, and if any of you are interested, I'm going to post shareable links to both the experience tracker as well as the loot tracker, the piece. So that way, if anybody else wants to use them, feel more than free to do so. They are something that was a work of passion for me to make my life games, and I hope that they help others of you out there as well. So, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and call this one a We just passed 15 minutes. So 15 minutes of rambling, hopefully some useful information, some great ideas. I know that there's lots of other tools out there, but like I said, these are the ones that I primarily use. And I use these for my Pathfinder games as well as my Deadlands games. I'm probably going to start working on some stuff for Torg Eternity. If you've never heard of that game, it is a game that first came out as Torg the Possibility Wars back in the 90s, re-released as Torg Eternity. It is a great system. It is a lot of fun. I'm going to see if I can work on some tools for it too. I don't know if any of the rest out there play it or not. However, it is a great thing. Now, once again, I'd like to give a huge thanks out to the PC Gen crew for creating an amazing tool for using in the game and keeping it free, as well as Kyle from Combat Manager, who has also made an amazing tool, keeping it free for those of us out here. Try and save a little money because we spend so much money gaming that everything you guys do absolutely appreciated, at least by myself and my group, and hopefully by other groups who use it as well. That's it. That's a wrap. As usual, if you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want alerts as to when I post a new video or when I live stream, just click on that bell. Anything else, hit me up in Discord, or you can send a message here or on Facebook. I'm also in the user group if you are as well. Have a great day, and hopefully everything was useful. Thanks a lot. Bye.